What's up everybody, Cynda here, and welcome back to another episode of Cynda Talks, and today I'm gonna wallop this game. Well, not in like a bad way, but in like I'm gonna talk about it. Good connotation, you know what I mean?
Super Mario Bros. Wonder was released for the Nintendo Switch in late 2023 to extremely good reviews, which isn't a shocker. I mean, they put Mario on the box. Anything with Mario on the box is gonna be one of the greatest games ever created. I stand by that statement, I stand by that statement, I stand by that statement, I kinda stand by that statement. Wonder is notably the first traditional 2D Mario game since New Super Luigi U, which released all the way back in 2013. Now we've had the Mario Maker games since then and the oft-forgotten Mario Run on mobile devices, but seeing a very traditional 2D Mario game is a nice return to form. But this game is anything but traditional considering its shift away from the art style Mario has been going for. And this game's presentation is really good and unique. I mean, wow, look at this mess. It's pretty obvious they were going for a look reminiscent of the older Mario art styles, with certain poses and enemy designs coming straight out of those older drawings. The thing is though, those older drawings look really good, so it all works out. And the animation quality is out of this world as well. Now I'll defend the new Super Mario Bros. Series until I'm on my deathbed, but even someone like me has to admit that those games' animations were just a little lacking. The level of polish and quality on display here is ridiculous. I mean, look when you're crouching and jump, and then release the crouch. There's like a little unique animation. What? There's so much personality here, it's great. But there's more to the presentation than just animation quality, and the soundtrack leaves a lot to be desired. This game has a much more wistful vibe than any other Mario game, a calmer aesthetic to allow the mind to wander in the wonder and take in the presentation. This means that instead of the funkier, more in-your-face tracks from older games, things are more relaxed now, which I must admit fits the game, but sorry, nope, this is my review, and I will call this soundtrack comparatively bland. Another aspect of the presentation we need to go over is the change in voice actors. Mario and Luigi were recast after Charles Martinet chose to step down as the voice of the characters, being replaced by Kevin Afghani. Now, it would be easy as a hardcore Nintendo fan that also fears change to get upset at something like this, but I mean, come on, really? There are wildfires destroying thousands of acres of land every day, and you're upset about the guy pushing 70 wanting to retire after voicing Mario for 30 plus years? Just give me a break. Get a life. Get a life. Anyways, the new guy is great. You can barely tell the difference. There are a few moments that sound a little weird, but that's the textbook definition of a nitpick. The story, it's a 2D Mario game. Bowser grabs the doohickey on the box, either team up with or rescue something, the former in this case. Okay, now stop him. As for the actual gameplay, I mean, come on, it's 2D Mario. You know what you're getting into. Start a level, run about, and then get to the end. Okay, so maybe it's a little more nuanced than that. Something that you notice almost immediately is that the designers have not lost their touch. Every level feels rich with ideas and mechanics, and the sheer amount of new stuff is honestly very impressive. It feels like every level is throwing something new at you, whether it be a new enemy type, a new power-up, a new platform. No two levels feel the same. They also did a great job at enhancing the exploration aspect. You have the 3 doohickeys in each level in the form of the 10 flower coins, and the 3 thingamabobs seem easier to collect in this game. It's difficult to explain, but I rarely found myself wandering around for too long looking for a missing one, and I almost never had to look up where one was hidden. I think this has something to do with the introduction of the Wonder Flower, which we'll touch on later, but the 10 flower coins seem to be leaning towards tests of platforming prowess instead of being puzzle-oriented, while in previous games, the 3 Who's a Whatsits had to serve both purposes. The flower coins are also a nice boost to the exploration aspect, since there's an incentive to collect them besides just extra lives to throw onto the pile, and it always felt like I needed to collect more and never had too many. Because with these coins, you can purchase Wonder Seeds, Standees, which are these neat little collectibles that revive you in co-op mode, extra lives, unlocking pathways, and even purchasing badges, which are a brand new collectible for this game. And what's the deal with these badges? They're evil! They are evil! I am a Mario Wonder purist, which means I try not to use any badges except for the stages that require them because I'm a purist. They provide a variety of effects, whether it be giving you a new move, like this cool Spider-Man type deal, or this backflip move, or giving you a power-up after you die. There are also the expert badges that make the game more unique. Ooh, look, invisibility, but you can't see where you're going. Badges are a cool idea, and I'm happy that they made the tiny badge tutorial levels so even purist losers like myself can enjoy the new mechanics. There are also the new talking flowers to help spruce up the levels. They're inoffensive, that's it. I didn't feel like turning them off, so maybe that's good. They invoke a sense of just blistering nonchalance. So what about this wonder flower? I mean, that thing's not only on the box, it's on the box. Short answer, nab it, insanity happens. Long answer, it's a really creative way to add in some of the more abstract ideas that wouldn't fit in a normal Mario level. The Wonder Flower can cause all kinds of insane stuff to happen, whether it be a raging stampede, turning you into a blob that can stick to walls, activating a Bowser cannon, or even being the impetus for several musical numbers. And since you receive a Wonder Seed for surviving these wonders, which are used to unlock levels, they're pretty important. This also leads to a very interesting gameplay effect where the designers may hide the flower in a level, so you have to slowly and methodically search for it, only for the insanity to rush you to the end of the level. It's such a great level design trick to build up momentum and make each stage have a sense of depth. And obviously you have levels that take the opposite approach and start the mayhem immediately, and the balance between the slower and faster levels is so refreshing. Wonder is also packing some brand new power-ups. You've got the returning Fire Flower, obviously, but we have some really cool new power-ups here that I need to discuss. The Elephant Fruit is the star of the show here, as you can see by its placement on the box. It changes you into an elephant that has a melee attack and can carry water around to interact with objects, which is cool and all, but also changes the soundtrack into a sort of brassy tone, which does not sound good. And with my previous gripes about the soundtrack, the last thing this game needed was the main power-up to make the soundtrack even more muted and less interesting. We also have the Drill Mushroom, and this one is rad. You can drill on ceilings, underground, you jump, and there's an attack, really great stuff. The extra mobility is a lot of fun to use, and the designers utilize it very well. And by really well, I mean hide totally bogus secrets with it, but whatever! The Bubble Flower is the final new power-up on display here, and it's really cool as well. It acts almost identically to the Baby Yoshi from New Super Mario Bros. U, bubbles that just sort of absorb enemies. But in this game, you can use the bubbles as platforms, which people have already found out how to abuse and completely decimate the hardest levels in the game. But I think that highlights an interesting point about the power-up selection in this game. That there's not one that really jumps out as the best one. In previous Mario games, the best power-up was the one that lets you fly. I don't think this is a particularly controversial opinion. Mario 3, you're going to get the Super Leaf. New Super Mario Bros. 2, the Super Leaf. 3D Land, you get the point. But in this game, each brand new power-up has a certain feature that makes it helpful, whether it be carrying water, or a melee attack, drilling in the ground, or using bubble platforms. In conclusion, Wonder possesses a very impressive suite of brand new power-ups. Not a lot of love for the Fire Flower, but honestly, it's totally fine. Something about this game that really impressed me was just how much variety there is. But the problem with variety is that not everything is incredible. The smaller search party stages are quite literally the most egregious thing I've ever experienced in a Mario game. Invisible blocks everywhere, just bogus stuff. So I take great pride in saying that I found the flower tokens that were easy to find, and my butt looked up the rest. The badge tutorial stages and the break time stages are much better though, and break up the pacing in a very refreshing way. Now I gotta talk about the end of the game, except wait, no I don't, because this video is releasing weeks since this game was released. But I mean, you stop Bowser. What? And something I've sort of glossed over is just how bad this game's bosses are. Like, 2D Mario bosses tend to be simple little skill tests, but I mean, there's nothing to so many of this game's bosses that it's a little disappointing. But a mediocre boss that ends quickly is much better than a great boss that overstays its welcome, and the final boss is also mediocre, but the build up to the final boss is quite interesting. There's also a special world, as in Mario tradition, with a bunch of super challenging stages, nothing like impossible, but these stages do have some bite to them, which I enjoy. In conclusion, I think it's a little early to throw Wonder up there with the likes of Galaxy 2 and Sunshine. The recency bias is still simmering quite a bit. So instead of ranking this game or anything like that, I'm simply going to say that it's an impressive 2D platformer and a stark improvement over previous entries when it comes to presentation. Because let's be real, 2D Mario level design has been razor sharp since the dawn of time, 1992.
Walloping. Exceptionally fine or impressive. Huh. So this game is walloping.